So the shaylas again were Targum Yonis and explaining the pasuk Kol Hanikra B'shmi L'chvoidi Barosi V'tzarti V'afasisiv means that this is Behemshech and explains the Geula. The previous psukim talk about the ingathering of Yidden from everywhere. And why is that? That's in the merit of those who called on my name, and that is your forefathers, your righteous Abusayun Tzadikaya. And then he goes to explain the pasuk. For my glory, I created them, I formed them, and yet I made them, explains to mean that I established, therefore, their schus, the Yidden in Golus, and even did miracles for them. Afasisiv. The questions were, what? Let's repeat the questions, the three kind of nuances. Number one, then to the oyster. No? Anyone? Tzarech lahavin. Okay, so what's the question? It says that the Gula come in the merit of tzaddikim, but why are they described as that they call on my name? Just it's enough to say because of the tzaddikim. Define them as calling on my name. The diak is b'shmi, or rather, my name is called upon them. That's how the Targum explains it. Kol Hanikra, not Kol Hanikra. Kol Hanikra, all that is called by my name. So why are they described this way? Second question. Simple question, no, Aaron? Yeah, so they're loyal. So there's two questions. Why are they defined as my name is called upon them, and that it is for my honor? Why is that negay here? L'chvoidi. And the third question. Huh? The third question is, he concludes af asisiv, the Targum
Talking about that's going to be, why does the pasuk refer to these same word?
Right. I mean, yeah, the basic theme of the pasuk we understood because there's Targums explaining the schus. In whose schus does the geula come? And that is called Nikra B'shmi Tzadikim, your forefathers. The name was called upon them. Fine. And in that schus you endured golus. Fine. But what's it negate to say, since we're speaking about the final geula, and in their schus, I did miracles. I did miracles for you, and all of this is to explain the geula. It's all in the merit of this, this, and this, and this. Why is that negate? It's a nice, and it's a he did, it's a fact, and so on. Why is it negate here that this is in this chus of the miracles? It's all bedil because of the tzaddikim that established during Golos, In their schus, and I did miracles for you, redemption comes. And I did miracles for you, why is that negeya here? Question is clear. If it would be deleted, it doesn't change anything. It adds a detail that seems irrelevant to the theme of the pasuk, which is in the schus of what does redemption come? It doesn't come in the schus of the fact that Hashem made miracles for us. It comes in the schus of the tzaddikim. Now the hannikra b'shmi. What we want to know, why they're described as calling on my name, and why is it l'chvoidi dafke? What are all these diyukim? So the three diyukim. Why tzaddikim are called calling on my name, why this is associated dafke with Eibishter's covered, and why is the Eibishter doing miracles for us integral to the schus, as it were. How does it fit into the schus of the geula? That don't be afraid, I'm with you, as the pasuk said earlier. In Pashtus, you could answer what kept us going with the miracles. That's how we survived till now. But that would be a separate thing, it seems, from the tzaddikim. Although it seems that the miracles happen in the schus of the tzaddikim. So you could answer that in Pashtus. But we'll see what the Maimon says. So we started to learn this week's parsha. I see them from the peaks of the mountains, and I behold them from the hills. So the Zohar Medrash says that the Aves are the mountains, and the mothers, the Mois, are the hills. So this is connected also to the pasuk we just learned, that Geula comes in the merit of the Aves. As another medrash says, "Beferish kol doidi hine zibo," the voice of my beloved comes skipping carpets, jumping over the mountains, skipping over the hills. The same lashon again. The Eibishter says the medrash, I look at your holy Aves, and in this schus I redeem you. And who are they? The Aves and the Mois, the mountains and the hills. Then he added that that's even understood in Pshuto Shemikra. Because what's this? This is the introduction to the whole story here, that Bilam is hired to curse and can't, because Yidden are protected by the schus of the Aves. And so much so that he cannot curse them, but brachas come so much so that the end, it's the final geula, Darach Keichav Miyakov, that refers to Bias HaMashiach. So in Parshas Aksubim, this introductory verse that Bilam states explains why he can't curse the Jews, and only blessings. Not just blessings, but the blessings all the way to the geula, because of the Surim and the Gvois, the Aves. Okay, that's what we're up to. Yeah? It's clear? And the Indian is the Proteus is in greater detail. This pasuk referring to mountains and hills, not only in the general people. Torah speaks about the majority, and Allah, as we follow the majority custom, whatever the context there is in halacha. So it's not just referring to Yidden B'chalal, or the majority of Yidden, Ela Gamal Kol Echad Misel Befrat, but every single Jew. We might suggest here, we can just say that the whole structure of this Maimer is a Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz Maimer. From the very beginning, he said that the Gula is going to be such that Kenenun Einzik Yid will remain in Golos. So A, it's redemption. B, the Fidige Rebbe's famous letter that not only was I redeemed, but every Jew, even a Jew, that's simply referred to as a Jew by name, he too was redeemed on Yud Beis Tmuz, which is a hachana for the Gula Sida, Tmuz being for thousands of years, the beginning of Avelos and Churban, and now the seed for redemption. So the Rebbe seems to be stressing here in this Maimah that it applies to every year without exception. It's part of his toil here to establish that it's in Pshut Shamikra and it's every year. Kedisa Birishami, it continues now. No, I'm sorry. And similarly, everything has to be sourced in halacha, in nigla. How do you say this goes on every yid? So Derech Mashakosov, Dorach Koichav Yaakov v'kom Shevet b'Yisrael. So Bilam says he sees a star shooting forth from Yaakov and a ruler rising from Israel. In addition to the fact that it refers to Mashiach, and that means the Shaykh has to call us almost, so it's a general thing. The Jewish people will be redeemed. Canal. But that same pasuk, Koi Gamal Kol Echad Misrael, refers to every Yid, Kedisa B'Rishalmi. The Shalmi says, it's a strange story. There's a whole list of people who came to the Noim Namaroim with dreams, and if it's the same person or not, look it up. And he interpreted the dreams. So somebody dreamt that he ate a star. He consumed a star. So he interpreted that to mean that this person had killed a Jew. He brings the pasuk, Shadorach Koichav Miyaakov. So David doesn't want to tell the whole story here, but look at how he describes it. Shadorach Koichav Miyaakov, and he says, therefore, this person, may his spirit, whatever, some punishment should befall him. Shadorach Koichav Miyaakov, Koy Afil al Yehudi Shenimtze b'mayim Adamatzav Sheyesh Legoy Shlita. This very same pasuk that refers to Mashiach is quoted there in the Rishalmi as referring to a year, the star, because this fellow dreamt that he swallowed, consumed the star. It refers even to a year. That what matzav is the year that a non-Jew has a shlita over him, so much so that he doesn't want to spell it out here, but he took his life. So this is golus shebegolus. And who is it? A Jew that's under such control. And the same pasuk is referring to Mashiach. All to emphasize that these psukim that we're talking here, Moresh Surim and Migveis Ashereno, refers to not just the people as a whole, rooted in the Ovis and the Imbois, but every Yid. Yeah, following this. And another raya that was laboring here is going to be another raya that refers to every year. In a moment, let's just finish it. And you got Kamoik and Gam Barish Surim Baran and Megavais Hashiren, and them are called Echad Misrael Befrat. Refers to every Jew, not just the people as a whole. That they come from, the people come from the forefathers and the mothers, and they're for strong like mountains and hills and immutable and can't be dislodged or hurt. It's not just b'chalal, but it's b'frat. Every individual yet, and the proof is another proof. This is completely original. It's all original here. I don't think this is anywhere. But this chidush is Shalei Bilam Ha'isa Einei Ra. Bilam Rashi tells us from Pirkei Avos, and the evil eye, v'chipes afilu b'ktzeya om, and searched everywhere for an opening, even the edge of the people. Ergitzvu, the Rebbe said, anywhere. Eizinyan bilti rotzo is something disfavorable. Shetile eize tvisa in Yiddish, as also can unchecked. You should be able to grasp some opening, a failing in the Jew and curse the Jews. In other words, he's looking for a failure in even an individual Yid. That'll be enough for him to get to curse. The Alpha became the Motzim Umma, yet the Davish doesn't let him. And he doesn't find anything, not just collectively, but individually. So here he comes to want to curse, and he's ready to find the smallest thing. As he said, Ergitzvu, some failing. He's forced to say at the very beginning why this is not happening. to any Jew, al kol echad leidak al kulam yachad, not just collectively, because because of this milah of the Avos and the Moishe that's invested in every Jew individually. And therefore he cannot bring the opposite of blessing even to the edge of the people. But the edge, it means baruchne, so the fringe Jew, a lone fringe Jew is on the outside. Even there, that would have been enough. So she tells us that Balak brought him to the edge of the people, his maramas, to this Indian of the edge, find the chsaron somewhere. He couldn't. Not even an individual. And what does that individual have? He has the Indian of the office and the invoice in him, which the Maimon is going to explain. Yeah? And this is even further underscored. Again, Rebbe is laboring here to establish the Indian that every Jew invested in him without exception is the Ovos and the invoice. And where do we see this even more? In the Nusach HaTfilah of Shmoneh Shetik Nanchik Knesset HaGedolah, which the men of the Great Assembly established. Every year it says, he refers to Hashem as the God of our fathers, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And every Jew says that. They are the fathers of every Jew, not just the collective people. Even the light of the light. And literally the smallest of the smallest, the least of the least. He said him is moreover, he's not finished the Rebbe in that. It's only in potential. But invested in him is all of this in actuality in terms of his avodah. Like he says in Tanya, Mashakos of that which the pasuk says, how is it that Yiddishkeit is close to every Yid? To do it, Benjamin described here, how is it possible? So in the Kud of Tanya Ish, there is an instinctual hidden love. In brackets, incorporates also all fear of Hashem, which is in the heart of the Jewish people as a whole, which is bequeathed as an inheritance, and this affects every Jew. This pasuk talks to every Jew. Even to such a Jew who is the light of the light and the least of the least, as it were, the Torah says, it's close to you. Yiddishkeit, it's not in the heavens or over the ocean. And not just accessible and near. The pasuk said it's very close. Not only in your heart, okay, it's Jewish in the heart. That's easier. The Gemara says that the Eibishter wants the heart, not just the learning in the context in the Gemara, which was a slogan of the Baal Shem Tov. The Eibishter wants the heart. For many years, I don't know if it's still there, Gan Yisrael, Montreal, in the Tritel Hazen dining hall, there's a beautiful poster, Rahman al-Libaboy, Chaim, who made it? Rabbi Shvei, Oliver Shalom is an artist.
Yankel Shvei. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea.
Anyway, you remember as a kid seeing there, adorning the hall? I saw the visitors there when I used to visit my kids. You don't remember? Beautiful art. Rahman al-Libaboy, and that was Gan Yisrael. There's no point of Gan Yisrael that ever established it after the Baal Shem Tov. It was called Gan Yisrael. It's a big theme of Gan Yisrael is Avos Yisrael and all the basic teachings of the Baal Shem Tov, Pratis, and so on. In those days, camp was more kids from non-observant homes, non-Lubavitch homes, and Lubavitch homes. Camp did a tremendous revolution. Al koponim, so bilvavcha in your heart, it's summer. So I'm sharing this with you. So your heart mele, but not only, every Jewish heart is awake. But the pasuk is emphasizing it's very near to even to your mouth, and to action. How is it very near? Because every Yid has it in the office and the emotions. From this itself too, like it's proving the point from davening, from Tanya, from Bilo, that your inyan dimaresh surim yarenu, that Eila office refers to the office and the emotions. Yeshnoi b'kol echad, echad mitzvah l'rak b'koyach. It's not just there. There's some latent potential. And does mitzvahs. It's all because of the union of the office and the emois invested, present in every year. And what is that? Let's see. Yeah, we're clear? It's amazing to see them. Could say this in one word and finished. But he has to overcome all the resistance, the maila, the mata, and make it real. And Maimah is a tremendous labor. It's totally beyond our ken, but we can physically see it. Not that if I bring in a sikh isn't either. So here the pasuk is talking about Eden down here. So we have to look at it. It's all Shekain will be Solamaila. So it is in Eden above. What's Yisrael Lamaila is Zod Atzilus. Zod Atzilus is the level of Yisrael above. Shenikra Yisrael de Leila. Zod Atzilus is called the supernal Israel. It's the Adam Shalakise, the Adam Elyon. So what's the Inyan here? That all the Yidden are incorporated and extend from 600,000 general neshamas. We all are rooted in these neshamas. Now, it doesn't go into it here, but these Shishim Ribu Neshamas Klalis, they themselves come from Be'etzem, one Neshama. That's the Yechida Klalis. At any rate, so that's that quote unquote magical number, that's the number of Yidden went at Mitzrayim. Actually, it was many more, but it's number of men between 20 and 60 and their respective families, etc. Already there were cluster groups. So there were 600,000. The Shamas Kloli is already there. They were like a cluster. Right? It was more than Shishim Rib. They went out of Mitzrayim, but they are the Shamas Klolius that went out of Mitzrayim, which included already then wife, children. Kol Echad. Now each one of the 600,000 keeps on breaking down. Keleles Shishim Riboy. Neshamas Pratis, each one of the 600,000 is incorporated in him, 600,000 individual Neshamas. Now, what's 600,000 times 600,000? If he says, etc., it doesn't stop there. Huh? That many? No. Yeah? 600,000 times. Yeah, 3.6 E. That's trillion.
360 trillion.
Want that many Yidden? I don't know what the chulu is. And then he says v'chulu, etc. Like etc. Even more. Basically. At any rate, what's this number? Atam de mispazeh. This is all following the point that he just said that Neshamas Yisrael, Yidden Yisrael and Mail is what Zod Atzilus. So how does this number 600,000 come? He now explains. The reason for this particular number 600,000, Shemimen or la yigra, from which there's no diminishing, v'olav la yosef, and no adding. In brackets, this number is the number, but there is adding. There's millions of Yidden. We're not adding, we're only talking about branches. There's additional branches. The Eibishter manifested the Neshamas Klolius. Initially, there's 600,000, not more, not less. Where does this number come from? Who? Because we're rooted in Zod Atzilus. How do you get from 6 midas, 600,000? Shisha midas. Shenimshach mehei yilo. So we need two factors here. Number one, the 6 midas, of course, come from Bina. Yeah, Bina is Hey. Yudas Chacham Hey is Bina, Vav the 6 midas. The final Hey is Malcha. So the first Hey is Bina. And the Vav, the 6 midas, come from Bina. So that's the first number on the table. 6 times 5. Now Vashleim is the Shisha midas. Now we look at the 6 midas. The 6 midas themselves under the microscope is their shleimus is each one is comprised of 10, so that's 60. Yeah, you do that 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 6 times. The fish is on because it comes from where? From Bina, which is Hey. So what's the number? Yeah, 60. We should do it. Not 60. You count times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10, 600,000. So that's where the number comes from. Bottom line, Zod Atzilus, in all of its detail, manifested as it's rooted and expressive of its source, Bina, which is Hey. Why is Bina Hey? Because it's the Hey Gvuras, which break up the Nekudas HaChachma, corresponding to the 5 organs of speech by which the simple sound becomes differentiated into particular sounds. So hazing in of Bina, of Gvura, which plays upon the Nekudas HaChachma, which produces the 6 midas. Why Dafka 6? Anybody? Why does it produce 6 midas? Why do the Gvuras produce 6 midas? The Gvuras have been. We actually mentioned this in the previous Maamar. Was mentioned briefly there. Every seichel has 6 directions. Life has 6 directions. Up, down, and the 4 directions. Hence, there are 6 days of the week. Shabbos is the central point, the center of. I think we once learned this, just I don't want to digress too much, sorry. We once learned, years ago, do you remember, the Rebbe's whole beer on the circle, on the geometry of the circle of pi and the radius and the relationship to the center. Remember, it was way back. It's time to learn it again. I mean, it's from one of the Rebbe's Rishimis, written up beautifully by Tauber. Explains why the circle is it's the natural shape, and the radius is pi. It's 3 points. It's an infinite number. But you take the radius. Yes, you double it. It's the diameter. It's 6. That's the 6 days of the week, all relevant to the center, which is Shabbos, which is a point, has no dimensions anyway. We should learn it again. What do you think? It's a beautiful thing. At any rate, let's finish the ois. So the number 600,000 again is all rooted in the 6 midas of Zoh, which come from Bina, Hey, The 6 midas, their completion is they're incorporated in the 10 midas. So again, it's 60 times 10, 5, which is 600,000. All to say what? That this is invested in every yid. So Bilam is saying, I see them, the mountains and the hills. He's at its source, he's praising the source of Yidden, the mile of Zoh. That where is Zoh rooted? In Reish Surim Mikvois, which is going to explain, meaning the Avos and the Imois, which Shehem Chacham or Bina Shnikra Avaim, that's father, mother, which is Chacham and Bina. It's in their unity that Nases is Habas Bechin Zoh. That's how Zoh is created. So the Tsurim and the Gvois, which is the Avos and the Imois, which is Chachma and Bina, in the unity of father and mother, produces Yisrael Yidden, and he's singing their praises. He's singing the praises of Yidden in their source above and Yidden as they are Lamata. We clear where we're going? And that's going to be explained in the rest of the mind.